The Nyungwe forest is older than the maps that name it. A lush sanctuary in Rwanda's southwest, guarding a world of life and wonder in a highland hush few have ever seen. Yet for much of the 20th century, that hush was under assault. Timber was felled and charcoal extracted. Gold mined and poachers drove once common species, the forest elephant and buffalo, to local extinction. 2 decades ago, Rwanda put parks at the center of its national development strategy and gave Nyungwe legal protection in the mid-2000s. Over time, it has transformed from a remote and previously unmanaged cathedral of nature into the pride of Rwanda's sustainable future.
Nyungwe, if you go back in time, 23 years ago, was just a forest, an opportunity. And the vision of the leadership turned it into an experience, a product. The journey to where we are today, you asked me to go back 23, 25 years ago. It starts with a vision and a decision action to integrate tourism and conservation into our development plans and make tourism a cornerstone of our development strategy. And the idea at the time is to turn Rwanda into a global hub for tourism, investment, and innovation. And the first really big decision that was taken at that time was to choose to focus on a high-value, low-volume tourism and to embed conservation in our efforts. And so we faced a challenge at the time. The question was, if we are to become a high-value, low-volume tourism destination, then we needed several elements. So the pillars remained. Number one, we needed the right tourism infrastructure, the number of beds, the hotels in terms of 5-star, and so on. We didn't have them, whether in Kigali, and surely not in Nyungwe, or elsewhere. We needed the right tourism products, because people don't just come to stay in a hotel, however nice, they come to experience something. So we needed products, tourism products. We also didn't have them. We needed to tackle the issue of logistics, to get people in and out of Rwanda easily. Therein comes the vision behind Rwanda. None of this existed 23, 25 years ago. I'm painting a picture here, but it hides the complexity of planning and the consistency that's required in executing. Now, in terms of the products, fast forward, I provided the vision, here we are today. It's part of the policy framework.
Stretching across the mountains of the Albertine Rift, Nyungwe stands as one of Africa's oldest and most vital forests. Its unique heritage has been shaped over millennia, a living testament to the delicate balance of life and nature.
One of the factors that make it very unique is its geographical location. So Nyungwe is located in a biogeographical area that is very special. I would say East Africa towards even Central Africa, there is a rift valley. Due to tectonic movements, this is kind of like a channel. The channel is occupied by lakes, and those elevated earth from the channel are occupied by high elevation forests, most of which are rainforests, tropical rainforests. Nyungwe is part of that. The channel is called Albertine Rift Valley, and those elevated mountains cover the western part of Rwanda, the western part of Uganda, the western part of Tanzania, and the eastern part of DRC. These are mountain forests that share a lot, but that are unique globally. It's a globally known hotspot. If you look on a map, you really see it's a channel, and it's surrounded by high mountains, and as you go further from the mountains, then you have flat land. And this is a natural phenomenon that has created that, but which has resulted in a natural wonder like this one. So the created environmental conditions have enabled the existence of endemic, we call them endemic, but it's range restricted distribution, plants and animals and insects and birds. And for instance, we have 30 species of birds that outside of these mountain forests found on the western part of the country, you can't find them anywhere else. But just simply stepping out of the mountain forest, the conditions change and you lose all those biodiversity. The country counts 15 species of primates. Nyungwe harbors 13, just a difference of 2. And most of those are only found here in these parts. If they are lost here, they are lost for the entire country. Birds, very colorful birds, turacles, and all these beings are the ones that plant these forests, because we don't plant all these trees you see. These plants grow from the mouth of a bird, from the poo of a monkey, from the poo of a chimpanzee, from the wedges that a chimpanzee chew and spit. So things interconnected, and it's a functional ecosystem, and that's what we're thriving to protect and keep in its maximum integrity.
Preserving this fragile equilibrium is a daily act of will. In Rwanda, conservation and development are being carefully negotiated, so the forest and human progress can thrive together.
Actually, it's a scientific approach. So that was also one of the first decisions. When we decided to go and focus on conservation, we decided to focus on it from a scientific perspective, to bring in science in our decision making. Because you're right, we are balancing the investments, which are inherently occupy space, it's about structure, cement, and all kinds of things, with conservation, which is in many respects the natural opposite. So you have to stop along the way when you decide to invest and cater into how the environment could be impacted. And therein lies the approach of the government of Rwanda, is that we bring in the ecosystem, the Ministry of Environment is involved, partners like African Parks, the districts, the entire ecosystem, to look for solutions that maintain the stability of the ecosystem as we promote development. So that stability, that equilibrium, we're very careful not to disturb it.
I've been in many parks, in many protected areas full of wildlife, but I think Nyungwe still comes as #1 for me. The climate, the air, everything. Nyungwe is really a laboratory or a classroom of endless lessons for myself, because every time I go out on a hike, on a walk, anything, I can always come back with a lesson that I can describe and tell you. And I've been here since 2011. So it's really a classroom for endless lessons for any naturalist. That's why it's very important to keep it as it is. Keep the conditions as they are, so that you also keep, because the species can only tolerate the conditions that are created in that park.
Maintaining Nyungwe's delicate balance comes at a cost, and Rwanda has built a model where tourism directly funds conservation, ensuring the forest is protected by the very beauty that draws visitors.
The tourism we see growing is actually not, it's not growing instinctively. It's not growing abruptly. It's planned. So there is a tourism development plan in place. And the first thing is minding not to harvest a fruit by uprooting the tree. That's a Kinyarwanda saying. So when you planted a fruit tree, you harvest the fruit and let the tree, because you know the following day you come to look for another fruit. So a fool would harvest the fruit by uprooting the plant, thinking that he wouldn't need the fruit the following day. So that's the relationship between conservation and tourism. So we are mindful of the conservation, that tourism development plan is based on that. So it makes sure that it's generating enough revenues for protecting the forest, but within the limited, the lowest impact possible, and where possible even without any impact at all.
Nyungwe is part of UNESCO's World Heritage. I think we were registered in 2023, so it's not just an asset for Rwanda, it's an asset to the world, you know. Enormous amounts of carbon sequestration in terms of combating global climate change research. Nyungwe has one of the largest populations of birds. You know, it's a paradise for birds watchers, close to 300 species. Some of the rarest primate species, and all kinds of very unique and rare plants.
For instance, the western part of the park is a primary forest. Dark, closed canopy, high trees, very humid, higher rainfall. And as you go towards the east, it gets a little bit secondary, shorter trees, and some very special places, like one wetland that is called Wasenghoko. When you are driving towards the eastern gate of the park, like 15 minutes before you get out of the park towards the west, it's a special wetland, for instance, where we have been taking strange measurements of temperature, for instance, up to -5. That's -5 degrees Celsius, you know. That's not something very common. And we have wetlands, we have high mountain thickets, we have lowland kind of mountain forests at lower altitudes with big trees. And so all these changes really make the forests very diverse.
Rwanda's rich biodiversity, backed by consistent policy and planning, have transformed its tourism, fueling new experiences and rising revenues over the last 20 years.
At that time, we generated tourism receipts of circa $7 million a year. Today, last year, we registered 650 million. And we're aiming for $1 billion, close to $1 billion by 2030. Now, in terms of the products, fast forward, I provided the vision, here we are today. It's part of the policy framework. But today, we're launching 3 products. The hotel, Munazi, the rope course, and the zipline, which happens, by the way, to be one of the largest on the continent. It's nearly 2 kilometers suspended in the air as you go through with very high speed, but entirely safe. Basically, you know, the possibility of experiencing the whole Nyungwe forest just you know, going through a line, zip line suspended in the air, an exhilarating experience, absolutely thrilling.
And I'm just visiting Rwanda for a few weeks, so yeah, thought I'd check out Nyungwe National Park. I was just trying to find things to do around here, and then hiking around the national park, and then the video for the zipline came through. It looked equally exciting, thrilling, and quite scary. I haven't done a zipline in years, and I have a fear of heights, so let's see how the two combination, you know, blends in today.
Zipline, I've done one maybe 10 years ago. But it wasn't as long. I believe this is a very long zip line, especially in the midst of a rainforest. So that's something that's so exciting, that's so new. And I definitely want to experience that and see if we can like get some primates as well, catch a few glimpses of animals. I'm just super excited. Like I can feel goosebumps when I'm saying that, I'm getting ready to like put my harness on, put my gear on and get ready.
This is a zip line. It's made up 3 sections. So the first section it's about 335 meters long. So the second one is about 580 meters long. The last one it's super. It's very nice, very long, very enjoyable. So it's about a kilometer and 20 meters. Pulley, and also there is a backup. I'll fix it together. So also there is someone who sends you, and to the other side there is someone who receives you. So and to the other side there is a brake. So the pulley hit on the brake, and then someone who is there is ready to receive you. It's safe like 100%. Let me say it's safe like 100%.
Wow.
So we was there, but it was very nice. It's really enjoyable. So Rwandans and foreigners, please welcome to visit Nyungwe National Park. So we are here for you. Thanks a lot.
After soaring over Nyungwe's canopy, visitors can just a few minutes away from the zipline experience the newly installed rope course.
I have to be honest with you, I'm afraid of heights, So it took a lot of courage for me to go on it, but once I was strapped, I felt very safe. And it's exciting. It's very exciting. It's thrilling, and I was alone, but I could already see myself bringing my wife and my kids, my 3 daughters. It includes 21 elements, a fantastic experience for families, for kids, and 21 elements in the sense that it's 21 different challenges. You are tied to a rope, but so totally safe, but you go through a section that is called a spider web. There is another one called chopsticks. So it's quite interesting. It's better if you visualize it through some of the images that you saw earlier, but that's the vision.
Nyungwe National Park now offers a rich variety of experiences, from luxury stays to chimpanzee tracking, waterfall hikes, the iconic canopy walk, and most recently, a zip line, a rope course, and the new Munazi Lodge.
Munazi Lodge is located right in the heart of the Nyungwe National Park. But this is the only lodge found inside the park, and make it easier for our travelers, tourists, guests to be comfortable and stay here, because many people come here to enjoy the nature and the wildlife. So when they are here, they immerse themselves with the nature, where we live in harmony. Yeah. So and here we have 9 rooms in total. We have 8 standard A-frame, and we have 1 VIP. Come with a little extra, and I think that's our secret. Many travelers, they come here to relax, so it's either ideal for solo travelers, couple, family. We just mingle and they stay happy. Yeah.
Cradled, the lodge disappears beneath the lush cover, where wind, birds, and insects unite to compose the untamed music of nature.
Oh, this sound is a beautiful sound. Actually, it's my favorite, second favorite. These are called skaters. Skaters, now those sound you are hearing is from male only. Female can't make that noise, and guess what? They are calling just to mate. And the female doesn't have to make that voice, they just follow the sound. And my first favorite sound is for tree hylax. In Kinyarwanda, we call it Rushoka na Ngomati. It's a small, it's like a squirrel, it's a small animal, but it makes the loudest sound in this forest. Yeah, like when it's buzzing, you can't sleep, but I love it. It's sometimes it's like a wake-up call, or just go to bed. Yeah. And when we're here, like today, people who are tracking Mayewe community chimpanzee, which is the community which start from Owinka, they just track them behind our cabin. Yeah, the chimpanzee. That means most of the time we get to see those primates like today. Here, we mostly have lost monkey, silver monkeys, and a bird. For the bird, we have Rwenzori turako, and my favorite is trogony. It has beautiful colors. And when people are here, they get to see it. Hopefully, you're going to see them as well.
It seems that wildlife visits this lodge because its cabins blend seamlessly into the
Our uniqueness, we start from this cabin. This cabin is built from exotic trees and invasive trees. So instead of burning them or maybe cut them and put to waste, we reuse them and we make these beautiful cabins. Like we love reuse, reblend, and recycle. So we can have this. And with the suppliers, we work with local farmers, like everything, because Nyungwe National Park works with the community around this park. This park is in 2 provinces. There is South Province and there is Western Province. And we have 5 districts attached to this national park. And we work with those community. Like most of our staff are from community around here.
One of the big departments we have in Nyungwe is community. So under community, we have a strategy that defines 3 main pillars. It's education or awareness, it's engagement, and enterprise or economy, plus the collaboration with stakeholders, because you can't do everything alone. So we have a lot of interventions fall under those mentioned 3 pillars.
These interventions take place in rural communities, long marked by poverty and few opportunities. For many, tourism now offers a pathway to growth and renewed livelihoods.
We mainly fund vulnerable groups on a number of income-generating activities: fish farming, livestock farming, beekeeping, services. The guides you see here, all the guided activities here in the park are guided by youth from the nearby communities. And another example I can give, we use cooperative models. We sign agreements with cooperatives, we help them develop business plans and accompany them in making some profit out of that. And it's really giving good results. We also engage communities in conservation, and I may call it protection of the park. We have about 92 rangers, formal rangers, armed rangers, but we have another wing of community rangers. We call them eco rangers, 100 of them. Most of them were illegal resource users from the park, but most of them were doing it for subsistence. So when you transform them into people you engage in the daily protection of the park, they come to the park for 20 days every month to do patrols, for instance. And at the end of the month, they get a pay that is going to cover their expenses. That's engagement, and there's really good, we have a lot of indicators that we measure that can show you how much impact you are making to the communities.
The benefits to the community in turn strengthen both conservation efforts and the tourism experience.
Looking at revenues, we are being mindful of that. We are aiming at taking the park to a break-even by 2030. So by 2030, we aim at being able to cover all our operational expenses through tourism, but also with improved experience, really being a reference destination for the country and for the region.
The vision and strategy will likely remain the same. It will be about multiplying our tourism products, our tourism offerings. It will be about investing in similar lodges, high-end lodges across the country, but also inside.
Yeah, so as a tour operator with 2 tour operator companies, any new activity is essential. We want to always keep our product fresh. And of course, Rwanda is only one of, I will say, 2 accessible countries that has the gorillas and primates. And Rwanda has some distinct advantages with better infrastructure, less travel time because it's a small country, and great safety record. But every destination needs to keep coming up with new products, otherwise it can get stale. So what Nyungwe National Park is doing, African parks, it really helps us keep our products fresh. 3 new products launched today is going to help us do that. And it also opens up the segment of people who come. Rwanda is primarily a high-end market, but what's happening here in Nyungwe opens it up to, you know, adventure travellers, mid-range travellers, you know, to a larger, wider market. It's got so much more to offer. But the big message I'd put out there is not only has it got so much diversity and so much more to offer, the big thing is the accessibility, the lack of travel time. Rwanda's a tiny country, and yet you get 4 different ecosystems, 4 different experiences. No other country in Africa can offer that.